Welcome back to the Curious Yapper. I'm Madison, your host and favorite yapper. I want to give you a recap from the past couple of weeks because I missed one last week. Last I talked to you, it was Memorial Day, and that was wonderful not to go into work. Evan and I took a slow morning. We made lovely breakfast, and then we headed to a rose garden. The roses are blooming, and I loved all the colors. So naturally, my photo album is just full, once again, of flowers because I love them. And I got to take a good book to the park with us so that I got to read, and Evan was studying, so that was just fun that we got to spend the time outside, got to take it slow, got to do what we wanted to do. And afterwards, we went on a trail to get to the garden, and then we ended up coming back on the trail and finding another quiet bench with lots of shade because it started getting toasty in the sun. But I just love being outside, love being with the trees, and it was a wonderful day. I got to read, he got to study, and it was just good to be together outside. Next day, back at work, it was exhausting, and I think I went to bed probably in the 7-something hour. So, had a good conversation with Evan today, but took me out of that day, took it out of me. The next day, fun things happened. Got home and our first strawberry was nice and ripe, so we got to pick that together. It's really fun. Filmed it, of course, and we did eventually eat it. And then after that, I got to go with my game group, but it was just the ladies, and we got to do some puzzles together. So just fun to be with them, with the people I like, doing a fun activity together. The next day, it was a short week anyways, but I took off the Thursday and we went and did a hike. I have been preparing to do that. That's why I've been doing the stairs, and just so proud of myself. Now, there was feelings in between for sure. It's a really notorious hike around the area, and it has wildflowers and it has really big elevation. So it's about 3.5 miles up and 3.5 miles down, and over the course of those 3 miles it's about 3,000 elevation gain, so it's very steep. And Evan and I started out in the morning at the parking lot about 7 a.m. and we're getting going. Don't see a lot of people yet. I got maybe a mile in, so a third of the way up, and then decided that I was going to try the hiking poles that one of the ladies from my game group let me borrow, and that was nice, and I could definitely tell a difference. I thought we were going to have 2 sets of poles, but we ended up only having 1 to borrow, and so I let Evan try it out, and he's like, oh, that seems like you're in 4-wheel drive because you have even your arms to help you get up the incline. So about a mile in, I started using the poles, and then we are coming up on the last mile ascent, and those first 2 miles I said, this is challenging. However, I got this. I'm not really sure how it gets this reputation. And then I very quickly felt like I ate those words, because that last mile, ooh, she got me good. It's a partly mental game as you're hiking. And so I made it through those first 2 miles and thought, wow, all of the conditioning I've done, we got this. We are so good. And then I see the last mile up and I see this. And we had a moment. So we were not in a race, literally had the day off, nothing mattered. And so we took breaks, and I took breaks, and it's okay. And I'm slower than Evan, and I just am. And I still freaking did it, everybody. So it was also funny because when you get towards the top, you just see the gorgeous views. You see the green hills, mountains. You see the wonderful blue water, all the colors of the sunflowers. It was a sunny day. It's not always sunny here, so it was just wonderful. We couldn't, the weather, the temperature, just everything about it was just great. And then you get to the top and it says you have about, maybe it's 0.1 miles to the summit. I feel like that summit catfished me in a way. So right when it says you have 0.1 miles left, you're at this very open portion where you can see all across, not 360 views, but it feels like it. And then the 0.1 mile to the summit, you go back into the trees. And so when you're at the summit, the highest point, you don't even see any of the views. So I felt a little bamboozled with that. Anyways, we've now made it up. I find a rock. It is my friend. I am sitting. We take about a 10-15 minute break at the top, eat a snack. I brought snacks. Of course I did. Evan was gracious and was carrying the backpack. We had made it maybe 0.1, 0.2 miles at the beginning, but I thought to myself, I need to do the backpack at the beginning because I will be struggling at the end. And he looked at me, he said, do I need to do the backpack? And I said, I would like you to. I just want you to understand I will not be an equal partner in this, and I will not be able to help later. He says, okay. So anyways, he did the backpack for pretty much the whole time. Thank you, carrying the water cane snacks. So we find our little seat, get some pictures, just a gorgeous day. And then it's time for the descent. Awesome. What could be harder than this? Ascent. Well, that top mile, like as you go down, has some loose pebbles. It's not gravel because it's not that fine, but there's loose pebbles. I have the hiking poles, right? Hiking poles are supposed to stabilize me. And I almost bite it, eat the dust a couple times, and I have the poles. Evan doesn't even have the poles. You guys, going down the 3,000 in elevation, also challenging. Wow, different set of muscles. Anyways, it was a whole adventure. It was a big hike. A year ago, I thought I would be training for a couple years to be able to do this one. So like, go body. We did the thing. We did the hard thing. We huffed, we puffed, we were sweaty, and we did it. We saw the cool sights. We can do cool things. And I'm pumped and can't wait for the next adventure. I'll be back to the stairs so that I can still stay conditioned, because in June, in a couple weeks, we got another fun hike that we're traveling to, and I want to be able to enjoy those things. And I'm very passionate about moving my body at this point in my life. Me 10 years ago, who cares? And now I just want my body to be strong. And we were strong. And we did the hike. Let's go. So that was on Thursday. Really great day. And I don't even remember what happened after that. I don't remember if we napped. Surely we had something yummy to eat. But I can't remember that. But all I remember was I freaking did it. Then the next day was Friday, and I had joked with my colleagues saying, you'll know how it goes if I don't even stand tomorrow at work. But I did. I wasn't even as sore as I had anticipated. The most sore part of my body was feeling like the hip flexors. I guess, I really don't know. But however I was hiking, that was what I could feel. And yeah, that's where the soreness was. So that was Friday. Friday was also a blur. That Saturday was also a blur. I think it was a slow day. Reading, didn't do a lot. Probably some napping, probably some sleeping in. But that was a whole week ago, and I don't remember. The next day, though, on still that weekend, we went and did a hike, and I woke up that morning and I said, Evan, I'm interested in doing a hike, but I don't want to hike 10 miles. And I literally said the word 10 miles. We've been doing chunks of this trail because Evan originally had this desire, and then I joined in on the adventure. But there's a trail that's about 26 miles through this park, and we've been doing it in little sections. And so each time Evan has been measuring 4 miles, and then we come 4 miles back, so an 8-mile hike. But I told him that morning, I said, I don't want to do a 10-mile hike, whatever. Anyways, ended up being 9.5 miles, and go body once again, because we had just done a really big hike. And then I'm just going on another hike a couple days, 3 days later. Go body. Who are you? I love it. So that was that Sunday morning. And then naturally on the way home, the highway that we just happened to cross the bridge on, close to ice cream. I had the same thought in my head, but as we were getting close to the exit, Evan said, "So, ice cream?" And I said, "Yes, let's do it." So after the hike, we had some ice cream by the water. It was delicious. I even got it in a waffle bowl. I usually just get a cup. But then the waffle cone smelled so good. And then I remember telling Evan the last time I got a waffle cone, I just really wanted the ice cream. So let's marry the two. Let's do a waffle bowl, because then I still had the spoon for my ice cream. So delicious, so great. Great day. And then that afternoon, I started getting the bug to try to plan and get our vacation in order, and found an Airbnb that I'm really excited about and will get us close enough to do a cool hike. So we're gonna do that, and it's gonna be great not having to go into the office and having a breakaway from it all. So that was last weekend. And as we were booking the vacation, we had the grand idea of doing this big road trip. And Evan at one point said, "Are you sure that that highway is open?" And I said, "Yeah, I just saw on TikTok that this highway is now open." And he said, "Okay." But then as I was researching, learned the highway is not open yet. And in fact, opens the Friday at the end of our vacation. So the timing was silly. I was really glad that I figured out it was closed before I booked a bunch of Airbnbs in the route of this highway. So yay me for accidentally figuring out it was closed. So pivoting, yeah, here goes this vacation. Who knows what we're doing? But we're gonna go hike, and I'm gonna see beautiful nature, and that's what's up. Then this past Monday, it was a really beautiful day. We got up into like the 80s, mid 80s, I think. But again, still being up here, you open your windows and your doors at night and it cools it down. Mind blowing. Anyways, on Monday I was pumped. I had packed for the lake. I was gonna do paddling and read my book and all that stuff. I get to the lake. I left work on time. I was putting myself first. My pump didn't work, and it still doesn't work. So now I have to figure out if I want to go the route of returning or saying something to Costco, because they have a great policy. I know they do. But do I take it to Costco, or do I just purchase one on Amazon? But on Amazon, it's not even like a $30 pump. I think the cheapest one I saw was about $55 or $60. And those aren't even like the quality ones. So the one I would probably buy is about $100. But why can't the one I have just work? So that was really sad. And so I'm currently paddleboardless. And I gotta figure that out, because it's something I love to do. And we're all about doing things we love to do. So that was a real bummer last Monday that my paddle pump didn't work. So then I came home and I did some reading. I said, you know what? We were gonna read on the water, so we're gonna read in the sun. And that's what I did. And it was good. Still a bummer, but we pivoted. Then Tuesday after work was book club, and we had read Allison Stoner's memoir, essentially. They have been through a lot. I didn't even realize I knew who Allison Stoner was until I was about an hour and a half, 2 hours into the book. Cheaper by the Dozen, Mike's Super Short Show, Camp Rock, Missy Elliott's dance video, movie, what's that called? Music video. Anyways, so traumatic for Allison. And now they are an advocate for child actors. There's a lot of crazy things that happen in injustice. Anyways, we had book club though. Got to see the people, got to get updated on their lives, got to talk about books. Hilariously took us a long time, probably 30 minutes, to figure out our next book. Ended up going with one of my recommendations, which is B.K. Borison's First Time Caller. I've heard really great things, haven't read it yet. It has a really long wait time on Libby, so I'll probably end up buying it just because I've wanted to read it anyways. So excited to read that, and it's really fun to talk with those people. I really enjoy all of them. So that was good. Good fun book club. The next day was this past Wednesday. I had a dentist appointment. I love the dentist. I thought I was going to be a dentist, then I thought I was going to be an orthodontist, but I love the dentist and I care about my teeth. So much so that I have dreams about them falling out, and that is my worst nightmare. Anywho's, this was the worst dental experience that I've had. So disappointing. I don't have decay, I don't have cavities, teeth are fine, but when the hygienist was cleaning my teeth at the beginning, they were using whatever, like the water plus the drill to clean your teeth. So sensitive. My teeth were so sensitive. And I felt like this hygienist was going so deep into my gums. And I don't think I've done anything different with taking care of my teeth. But that was so disheartening. And very uncomfortable. And very sad. So I have to grapple with that for a little bit. Because it was so unpleasant that I am considering changing dentists. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go one more time and hopefully not get that hygienist. I don't know, that was very painful. And I said that when the dentist came in, because, you know, how are you doing? How are the teeth? Okay. Oh, just okay? Yeah, it was very painful. And the hygienist, yeah, we were pretty sensitive on whatever number it was. I said, yeah. And I don't know. Unpleasant. So I gotta sit with that. So that was that. Then Thursday of this week, I was packing because I was heading out of town. I was getting pretty stressed. And I finally made the bed on that Thursday. This has not been made since my mom was in town, which is probably a month ago now. So hey, a month later, the bed is made. The sheets were clean. Evan did all that, but putting the cover on a duvet is not fun. It's an adult task. That's not great. Anyways, got packed, nailed it. Evan made some potatoes for dinner. Appreciated that. Then the next day, Friday, I took a half day. Amazing. I was working from home. I specifically blocked my calendar and I only had 2 meetings. And it was great. Life was good when I wasn't in meetings. I need to do more of that, for sure. I need to stop going to meetings that don't matter. Anyways, then went to the airport. I love our home airport so much, so much. And I got there plenty of time. No line. I think it took me a minute. I walked to the line, got scanned, no line from my bags going through the scanner. Crazy. Texted Evan. He wasn't even home, not probably even out of the airport by the time I was through security. Crazy. Love my home airport. Got some pizza. Delicious. Found a really cool spot to sit instead of having to. It was just great. Just found a place to sit. Ate my pizza, read some book. Had a grand old time, walked my way over to the gate. We were boarding. Just great. I loved it. So that was Friday. Then my friend picked me up and I read some book while I waited for her to come pick me up. Just delightful. She was hungry. We went and got burgers. It was a good burger. We were chatting. We were laughing. It was time for bed. Great Friday. Next day was her big day. So I went to LA for my friend's graduation from gynecology OBGYN residency. She's a whole doctor. So that was really special to go celebrate her and a big milestone in her life. Yeah. And again, just fun to chat with her, to learn more about her. I was saying, so it was her mom, her uncle, her boyfriend, and me, and then all of her, of course, co-residents that were at this ceremony. And it's just so interesting to know that we've all seen different parts of her. And I've known her since middle school, and crazily enough, that's 20 years ago. Crazy. So I've seen a different side of her and know like the childhood stuff. However, I'm not the same person I was in middle school, neither is she. And the co-residents and the co-workers that see you in your day-to-day, see your highs, see your lows, like they're doing life with you so much. It's just so cool that she has that community that has surrounded her, and she's made all those friends, and they've gotten to see this side of her. Her boyfriend sees a different side, and then her family sees a different side, and it was just fun to be there and support her and watch her do her thing. She is incredible. Yeah, she's a doctor. What? That is crazy. We were just like middle school band kids, and then we were in high school, and like she was in drumline, I was in pit. What? And we were reminiscing in high school, coming back from football games. Since we had the percussion stuff, we always had to go back to the high school to unload before we could go to CC's with everybody else and watch the show from that night. And your frontal lobe is not developed when you're 16, but we would race back from the Standridge Stadium back to our high school, and that was wild, you guys. I'm glad we're still here. We were going really fast down these streets, and anyways, it was fun. She beat me at the last race we ever had, so naturally that's all that matters, and she'll never let me live it down. And it's just fun to go back and reminisce on those things, and also learn more about her because she's growing and learning and changing, and just really cool. So anyways, long segue, but on Saturday was her day to go to her graduation. There were 7 residents and 3 fellows, so really just 10 people graduating from this program. So really small and intimate, and it felt more like a banquet style. And on our way there, her boyfriend came to meet us at the house, and then her mom and boyfriend were leaving in his car, and we went out the back. Ended up she didn't have her keys. We locked the keys in the house, and the car keys were all part of that, so we didn't have her car to ride into. We ran out the front, caught her boyfriend and mom, and we squished in his car, and we headed to the venue. And then got to have the whole afternoon celebrating her and learning about the program. And when you just look back, all of the there were attendings there, department chairs, and so these people are really smart, doing really amazing things in the field of gynecology, OBGYN. Whoa, brilliant people. So I just kept thinking, wow, they're like doing surgeries and stuff, and they're saving women's lives and saving babies' lives. And here I am just having a salad and having some yummy chicken. So just so wild. And then they were, what was cool is as they were presenting their degrees and their certificates, they were saying something about each person. And so they knew them that well to be able to speak to their accomplishments and all they've contributed and what they will contribute to the field. And they were using terms. And so I kept leaning over and, what does this mean? What does this mean? So they're brilliant. They've gone through medical school. They've gone through residency. She's going to specialize and go be a fellow, and whoa. So really cool. After the banquet, we got back home. She had arranged, and her property manager dropped off and Ubered a key. So we were all good there. And we went to Target after to grab some games. And we got back and we played Uno, and then we played Telestrations. We were belly laughing on Telestrations because some people are more inclined to draw well or interpret what is on the page. And I think I'm really clear. Her mom did not get my drawings. Her uncle was not giving me much to work with, but I was coming up with stuff, and it was just so funny. We laughed so hard, and it was just wonderful. And then we went to a happy hour with her co-residents and the attendings and all the people. And that's not my scene. So I was very relieved to find a table kind of off to the side to just sit. And I was not going to do all the small talking and the mingling, and I didn't drink, and yeah, it was fun to listen to the conversations as they like kind of trickled and came towards me, but I was not putting myself in the conversation. I found the table, and that was that. We were out later than I would have been. I was a sleepy girl. So last night got home, probably went to bed after midnight. Who am I? And then woke up early this morning for my flight. So, oh, I forgot at the ceremony, her graduation thing, the first year residents, they call them interns, and they did a roast on all of the residents. Hilarious. Hilarious. They did so good. So good. So that was really funny too. I just saw that in my notes. But anyways, then we got back, got showered, got packed, did all the things. And then this morning headed to the airport. It was really easy. I thought LAX was a stressful, complicated airport. I was in and out of security in 10 minutes, so that was great. But the prices of food in the airport, absurd. There's like some kind of breakfast sandwich, $20. I didn't do it. So I ate one of my bars for breakfast and got on the plane, read my book, finished my book. It was The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. So good. It was really, really good. I cried at the end. Had real life topics. It had toxic friendship, toxic families, alcoholism, financial abuse, like so many real life topics, and it was good. And I was tearing up on the plane at the end. We had like 15 minutes till we were landing. It was the perfect time. I finished the book, but I'm just crying. I had the whole road to myself though. That was nice. Got to stretch out a little bit. As we're coming in, we're seeing the mountains, and my heart just feels so full, and I just love it here so much. The green and the mountains, I just love it. Then got home, ran through Taco Bell. I was hungry again because I'm not paying $20 for airport food. Got home, ate my Taco Bell, watched an episode of my Trashy Housewives. Evan and I just got back from a walk. We read at the park. I'm on a new book, some Lucy Score book. And I bought flowers on the way home too. And now we're just going to relax for the rest of the day. So I'm hoping for a decent week. Evan and I talked at the park, and there's moments where I'm not sure what I'm doing with my future and what I'm accepting right now professionally. And as I've said on this podcast a couple times, the common denominator is me. And even if I was in a different spot, even if I was decided to be a florist for myself, I would still find ways to be stressed. And I said that out loud to Evan. I said I'd be stressed about a shipment. I'd be stressed about this order. I'd be stressed about this timeline. And so common denominator is me. So I will unpack that myself, find ways to have my boundaries. I am what's important, what is important at the end of the day. So, good luck, yappers. And thanks for the yap sesh. I'll see you next week. If you find ways to live outside your comfort zone, do it. And if you need to be inside your comfort zone this week, fine by me. Bye, yappers.